So The Abyss is a movie I reviewed earlier this year and praised the special effects. And you could see the descent of the high pressure nervous system happening. Well, turns out that within its wake there were six other movies. Lord of the Deep, Star Starship 6, uh, Leviathan, and The Rift. I am currently actually watched Leviathan, starring Peter Weller, Amanda Pays, Richard Crenna, and Hector Elizondo. Plunge into this go for the jugular sci-fi thriller starring Peter Weller, RoboCop, of course, and Richard Crenna, Rambo, featuring non-stop action, nerve-shattering suspense, and awesome creatures from the Oscar-winning special effects wizard who brought dinosaurs to life in Jurassic Park and The Lost World. This terrifying underwater adventure will scare you senseless on the dark and foreboding ocean floor. The crew of a deep sea mining rig discovers a sunken freighter that harbors a deadly secret. A genetic experiment gone horribly wrong. With a storm raging on the surface and no hope of escape, the captain and Peter Weller and his team are propelled into a spine-tingling battle for survival against the ultimate foe, a hideous monster that cannot die and lives to kill. This one is what I would describe. I saw it being described as if Roger Corman had a budget or B-grade movie that had a studio budget. Of course, and I'm just going to say, compared to The Abyss, it is not that. It is nothing like that. However, but you also throw an alien in the thing, and you put them all in a blender, and you get this movie, a little mishmash of everything that's going on. This one I was decently entertained by. It's having a big cast, including Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters himself. I'm like, I was entertained. This is a competent, well-made, B-grade movie with a good budget. That's what I can say about it. What I enjoyed was Peter Weller does a fine job as a captain. A little smarmy. But I like the crew here. You know, there's enough variety. You got a couple of women. You got Ernie in there. You got Daniel Stern. Yes, one of the two bumbling thieves from Home Improvement. Plays just perfect. Okay? And yeah, I liked their chemistry together. But it's the chemistry is good, and slowly it builds. It's a good slow burn where things happen. It's like the crew is performing exterior operations for precious minerals like gold and things like that. And they discover a ship known as the Leviathan that purposefully sunk itself because there is this creature that will assimilate itself into a host and try and terrorize things. And you can obviously put together what the references are. But you know what? For a while, we don't know what's going on. We get to know the crew enough to know what they are. And get to see their personalities, which I like. It's like if you're going to take some time, at least get to know the characters well enough. It doesn't have to, there's not going to be Oscar award winning performances. It's not going to be a serious melodrama. It's going to be special effects done by Stan Winston, who of course did the special effects for Terminator and The Lost World. So yeah, I gotta give it credit, especially in the scenes when they're escaping and when the monster itself starts to, I guess, capture a new host. And there are some rather interesting scenes of when the monster starts to take over the body. It does get a little gross. I mean, what is this, rated R, if I'm not mistaken? PG-13 or R. And it kind of feels like that when this movie takes place 2027, 3 years as of this review's recording. Yeah, this could potentially happen. But then again, this was just nothing more than a sheer, nothing more than a sheer kind of copycat. But it takes them and it does it well. This is like a movie that you can watch, but you can also kind of make fun of because of just things that come together. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's a movie you watch on a Saturday night, or you watch with friends with like one or two beers, and you can mock it to a point. That's what I saw. I'm like, this movie you can mock, but at the same time you can also appreciate. It's one of those movies that was made with effort, but at the same time, it's a hodgepodge that doesn't give it any originality. Music's okay, standard orchestral shrills and stings and stuff like that. The ending, the ending like what you saw in previous movies. That's pretty much what happens. So pacing is good. I mean, it's like I said, 45 minutes. Things kind of happen. What does is like I said, the special effects. It's like the little brother of the Abyss. They had the dry for wet approach where they like through camera, like through tricks and stuff like that. I think like applying like wet paint or something to the suits that the actors wore. They were able to make a convincing enough like scene, I guess the word, because it was done on a sound stage. That there's also like what was that, a 240 by 160 tank, of course, smaller. But it works well. It works well enough. And there are a couple of scares of when people are trying to escape. I've seen with so many sci-fi movies this year, like with Sphere. And yes, I'm doing comparisons. I'm sorry, it's inevitable. I'm going to do these. So, it's like you see it and I'm sorry, but what it's like, at least here we get to see exactly what's going to happen. We get to see what I like to see. We see the suits, GU HUDs, the heads up display, like how much oxygen they have left. 30 minutes to try and retrieve them. There's this also, I guess, the scene like where this guy Six Pack that Daniel Stern plays, where he goes out, a whole bunch of tube worms, manages to find the ship, then discover everything else that's going on. That was a little bit kind of suspenseful. One of the women go out there and rescue him. Somehow they make it out just through sheer dumb luck. That part I was like, okay, that's pretty stupid. I have to dock some points. And I guess I kind of have to knock it just for the fusion. But like I said, the smoothie that you get after you blend all those together, it's not bad. So if you want, I guess the Abyss's little brother that features good to good performances, good special effects, and a rather kind of in an all right ending, I guess. Then I recommend that you grab yourself a beer, you grab yourself a water, get a couple of friends, and you watch Leviathan.